What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. Today we are gonna take a look at, I'm excited for this, Inart BVS Superman. My second Inart figure. You can buy now Inart figures at bigbadtoystore.com, not the previous ones. The previous one is kind of expensive, not gonna lie. Kind of like this Batman v Superman. I'm guessing they are also importing this, importing this, from Hong Kong. But now it looks like they have a direct communication now with Inart. So like Legolas, I'm excited for those because this is good. Now we're gonna talk about this. Look at the packaging. It looks premium. This is not one of their rooted hair, so he does have a strand of rooted hair, I suppose, but look at this packaging right here. It is beautiful. It's work of art. If you see it feels like every Inart figure. Even I would say this is one of their basic ones. Maybe Aragorn is the basic ones because it doesn't have the rooted hair, but there's an experience when it comes to unboxing them. Even with Joker, the box for the Joker is way too big, but I'll give them a pass. It's their first figure. But this one, look at that. Everything is wrapped on a paper. I guess I guess it's to protect the hand for the color transfer, but then again that's foam. But I appreciate it. I appreciate that. You got this kryptonite spear, which is cool. It wasn't included. I think it was only included in the Batman for Hot Toys, which is nice to include it in this Superman right here, because even if you don't get their BVS Batman, at least you have one. And there's realistically, there's only so much accessories you can attach to Superman. You get the Polaroid pictures, a Batman cowl in here, which is pretty nice. It's scene specific, but it's nice. You got the magnetic base, which I do like because the footprint is so small. I don't know if I completely trust the magnet though. This is the second cape that he does have. And then you have this flight pole that is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. This is a transparent pole that you attach on his back, so no more of that waist grabber. That Hot Toys really needs to go away from that waist grabber. I've been saying this for the longest time now. And then you got a kryptonite here. So we're gonna take a closer look on the accessories that is included. You see this both hands, expressive hands / flying hands, perhaps, I suppose. So one thing I do like about Inart is that they actually pay attention to the hands. Like the hands are not generic hands. This is fisted hands, but Hot Toys seems to, this was in the past, seems to have like the open palm hands, fisted hands, the flying hands, but they have, look at this hand right here. It's specific to holding the Polaroid pictures. It's not just the gripping hands. Every hand is specific to a scene or to this character. So I do appreciate that, because I was following this customizer. His hands are like expensive, but it adds to the realism of the figure. This is the the cartridge for the Batman bomb, like the smoke bomb that he does have. Look at this. He has two gripping hands. Has this been Hot Toys, they would have been exactly the same, close fisted, but this is specific for left hand and right hand. And small details like that I used to not pay attention to now kind of makes your eyes open and be like, why haven't this been implemented prior to this, right? Like this, that is the question that I'm asking myself now. It's like, what happened that I was okay with that, and I still am to a degree, depending on the price, but I do like the idea. It feels more customized. It feels more tailored to that specific character. And there's an indentation with this Batman cowl. And again, this is Superman, so there's only few things that you could do, and these are cool accessories to have. You got the magnet there. Do you need it? Maybe you'll take one picture and then just move on from it, but it's nice. You got the kryptonite here, it doesn't have a light of function compared to the BVS Batman from Hot Toys, but it's okay. You also have the angry sculpt, which is phenomenal, as always, and we're gonna put that away. And then you got this nice flowy cape. No, this is the wired cape. The flowy cape, the cape is in attached to the Superman. That is the more flowy, kind of like just drape cape. And this to attach them, they're pretty easy. And then the base is magnetic. You see Superman right there, the logo, and then you got some rebars coming out of this cement. I love this. It's small, and then you got at the bottom. You could, move the magnets. I suppose it works. I still don't trust it fully. I'm not gonna lie. To move this around, there's two notches that you can kind of put your finger on it. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. I'm not even gonna move it around. Honestly, it's just gonna stay the same way. But I like the details on this guy. It is pretty cool. And then you could remove this. I don't know why I'm struggling here. With Inart, because they're so expensive. Kind of take your time on it. You just don't want to pry things out, and they're hard to get as well. Well, this one is still available at most Hong Kong resellers. I didn't buy it from a Hong Kong reseller, because that's always my gripe with Inart, is that not even the price, it's the buying experience. I just don't trust them. I'm used to buying here, but I guess I bought it here. I bought it from a BSD group, and you take it out. This is not a snug fit, but it works. You put the pole in there, and then you attach that in his back. I'm sure you've seen videos. I'm not going to demonstrate it to you. And then you put it back if you want to cover that hole. Most of the time, I would say I would display him without the flying pose. Tailoring for this guy is pretty nice. Well, let's talk about the proportion. The proportions are nice. Look at the open palm hands. It looks nice, looks relaxed. The fabric that they used is really soft yet stretchy at the same time, and I love it. I have no complaints to the Hot Toys material that they used. It just feels like when it comes to fabric and overall tailoring, Inart always brings their A game. Like they're on point when it comes to tailoring of the figure, and I really appreciate it. Look at that hand. You can see that it's not a generic hand. You can't take this hand out and put it on another figure. Like with Hot Toys, you can somewhat do that. You got open palm hands. I got extra open palm hands from Commissioner Gordon. Here you go. This one feels like Cavill is a big guy. He got like strong hands. It feels like Henry Cavill's hands. First time that I've seen that from Hot Toys is from Black Adam. When you look at the hands, it feels like The Rock's hand. And I appreciate that. And I hope we're moving towards that. I'm not talking about just gesture, and sure, you appreciate that sort of with Kenobi. But this one feels like this hands does belong to the Superman. And this one is the drape cape. And I do wish, this is just a minor thing, there was a wire along the shoulder lines so it would flush out, but that's nothing, right? Like, it's not a big deal, not something that I can live with. And moving down here, there are a lot of symbols and all that stuff. I also like the fact that the joints are not showing, the pegs on the hands are not showing, and I appreciate that. Beautiful figure. All right, as far as the head sculpt, this is one aspect where, my goodness, look at that transition right there. It is as good as you can have, right? Like, as far as a figure that is not custom, that is into well production, it's a beautiful figure. There's not much I could ask for. I mean, if you go a custom route, I've seen better ones, but the price that they initially asked for this was, right now it's a bit more expensive, but if you pre-ordered it, it was pretty reasonable. And with that, it looks amazing. You can't deny the likeness right there. You could be an Inart hater or something, but it is great. skin texture, the body proportions. Like I said, the hands, the way they style the hair. If you have a Hot Toys and you have this, I'm gonna do a comparison of the two. Uh, you'll see the difference, and it is a big difference. It's not one of those things, and even if you don't hold it in hand, you just take pictures, put it side by side. It's not like the Batman where you could be like, hey, you know what, it's fine. I mean, maybe the Inart one is better. I don't know if that much better, but this is that much better. I can honestly say that right now. This is much better than the Hot Toys version. But with that being said, it's a bit more challenging. Well, both of them are. I guess I didn't really even the eye there. You know what? I never had a problems with this when inserting the head sculpt to the body, because sometimes some of them with the Joker it kind of moves around the stick. With mine it doesn't. It's probably just a user fault there. I haven't really moved the eyes yet, but I don't think I have to, because this looks phenomenal. This head sculpt, my goodness. And then it comes with a second head sculpt. I didn't put too much effort to this, but you can kind of tell from the expression itself that this is a good looking head sculpt. I love it. I love both head sculpt. This one is more intense. It has more of that expression that he's ready to fight, and you want that from a superhero. You don't want him to be too stoic. As far as head sculpt is concerned, the paint application is great. There's certain angles here. You can see like the little S on his hair. It's beautiful. Like you have to zoom in, and for some reason I don't know why, but Inart looks better in picture and in close up. I appreciate them more than holding him. Maybe because it's smaller in hand, and right now I'm seeing my work and this is with a macro lens, and I'm just like, wow, this looks amazing. And it does, honestly. Look at that. The hair work on the back is pretty seamless. I like everything about it. I guess the only one, if I have to say something, is on the neck, because this one has a post. On Hot Toys, the neck still moves by itself. Like even though it's covered, it does move. With Inart, it doesn't. It's more fixed, so you are relying on the movement of the post. And we're gonna zoom this in. And I have a video where we're going to transition that into this, because you got to get up close really to appreciate all the details. Look at on his eyes, those little, I don't know what you call that, veins or something. Now, it doesn't have the same gimmick as Hot Toys does. When I mean by that is the light up eye function. This one, however, does a rolling eyeball system even with this eyes. Not just on the regular one, which is pretty impressive in it by itself. But I don't need gimmicks in this one. You can see I'm gonna move the light more, shining it into his eyes, so the light is at the bottom here. You can see the light in there, so you could appreciate all the details, finer details of this figure. Articulation wise, I never had any issues, with any Inart figures, to be honest with you, outside of the neck. You can see how it's positioned here. With Hot Toys, there is some movement right here on the neck area. See that? This one doesn't move, so you are relying on this post for him to look up, look down. There's a little bit of risk there because of the head sculpt is too tight on the neck, and I get it, to avoid seams. But at the same time, if you make him look down, then that is rubbing off on the rubber on the neck. Now, moving him, there is no restriction when it comes to his outfit. The tailoring, like I mentioned earlier, the body, you can clearly see the silver inside, and you can even see the muscle fibers on his shoulders. You can move around. There's bicep swivel. There's rotation. Look at that on his torso. It is a beautiful body. It's nicely proportioned. You can have him crunch down. Like the outfit itself, the tailoring doesn't have any restriction because I believe it just moves around. It does have that type of, I guess, stretchable material, and it doesn't feel like it's gonna break either. The boots also does have ankle articulation. This is, if you're talking about just pure movement, you could, be free. I mean, this is not Spider-Man where you need to have him in any dynamic poses, but if you choose to do so, I mean, you really could. It is beautiful figure. And like, we'll put him into some poses before we wrap this thing up. And you can see here him kneeling down, no problem, holding the Polaroid with, he's ready to shoot his laser eyes on Lex Luthor. I should have picked a different background. This is from the wallpaper, but you can see that his movement here. He's kind of leaning backwards. I was afraid because of the rotating table that he's gonna fall forward and scratch his nose or something like that. But just the paint application here is immaculate. Look at that. You don't see any joints. I could have pulled that over his hand and completely hide the joints. This is him, kind of holding that grenade launcher with kryptonite on it, and you see the green smoke coming out with that spear on the background in the Wayne Manor. Beautiful. See, these are scene specifics. You might just do it once. I'm probably gonna do it more. A more refined picture of this. But for a figure who doesn't have a lot of accessories, you gotta be creative with what you're gonna include with a figure. Otherwise, you'd end up with hands. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but it's also fun, if you only have a handful of figures, especially Inart, because they're a bit expensive and harder to get. It's also fun to have, something to play around. And this is him with downtown Chicago. I think they sold this as Metropolis, or Gotham. But you can see the flight pole. I'm not gonna pole them on a flight stand. I was never a fan of that. Well, not this. This is I'm a big fan of, because I think there's a whole lot of thought process that went to this, and I love it. Him holding the spear as well, beautiful with that wired cape. Again, look at this. When he was in the nightmare scene, very scene specific as well. Him holding, exposing Bruce Wayne's head with the guards behind him. He's mad. He just shooting lasers all over the place. But you want to recreate that scene. Now that you got 2 scenes or 3 that you recreated from that movie. And that's what it's all about. Reliving those moments, those iconic moments for the fans. I know this is not the best, the most well-received Superman movie ever, but I'm a fan, so I relive those moments. And this is him with size comparison wise with Armored Batman 1.0. Armored Batman, this is a bigger figure, both just height and body wise. I would want, Armored Batman to be a little bit taller, but it works. Let's wait for the 2.0 from Hot Toys and see how it would measure up with this beautiful figure. And then again, now this is the BVS lineup. Well, both figures are from Justice League. I might replace them down the line with Inart figures as well. We'll see how easy it is to get them. But they work for now. For now, if you want to do this, of course, that Wonder Woman is showing her age. The Batman from Justice League, I still think it's pretty good. Not as good as the Superman right here, but it's not a far-fetched to display them together. And my final thoughts on this Superman, man, if you're a fan of the movie or just the character Superman itself, please do yourself a favor and pick one up. If you don't have any Inart figures yet, I think you can start off with the Aragorn that's still available if you are comfortable buying from Hong Kong. I'm not gonna put any links in here because I don't want to vouch for those. But if you're comfortable and you don't mind, go ahead and pick one up. As a figure, this is phenomenal. Maybe I'm looking at this with a rose-colored glasses because I do love Superman, but I always wanted this when this was announced. I just didn't know how to get one without feeling secured. I didn't buy this from Hong Kong. I bought this on a BSD group at a really great price, mind you. Because right now I think it's retailing for $438. On Big Bad it was expensive. It's like $550. But like I said, the newer batches of Inart is more in line to Inart's pricing, and then they only charge $4 shipping. So that should I hope introduce more people to Inart, because my biggest thing with him is not the quality. I still stand by my Joker take. I think that my specific Joker wasn't good, but this Superman is phenomenal. Now, as far as quality, no doubt, they're good. They're really, really good. As far as, the ease of purchase, that's where it's kind of murky, but, Big Bad is coming, so just keep that in mind. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you like this video. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.